Bad news for NFT holders, as they just might not be able to make a fortune using digital collectibles like they might have hoped to. Several creators are moving towards restricting what can or can't be done with original artwork, as highlighted by the intellectual property laws. So what do NFT holders own? Stay tuned as we answer this question and much more in today's video. Let's get started. First up, here's what's going on. You've got to agree that the world isn't as NFT crazy as it used to be. With its surge to popularity in the early months of 2021 and a string of celebrity endorsements, pretty much everyone was looking for an NFT to buy.
Celebrity-endorsed NFTs are leaving investors financially crippled. Even worse, the NFTs that do.
CryptoPunks and Bored Ape Yacht Club can basically be described as one of the founding fathers of the NFT craze. They were used to showing affiliation towards a certain crypto community. Now, in a cooled-down environment, some artists are looking for ways to expand their projects while some are looking towards limiting their commercial use. From the looks of it, there's some of the already present rules in intellectual property laws. Now, let's take a closer look at these rules. Well, we'll be getting into that in just a moment, but first, let's see what intellectual property actually means. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization, it's actually defined as the creation of the mind, and it could fall into any category: inventions, art, literature, design, symbols, names, and of course, images. All of such works are protected by law, which means that other people can't profit from them or even take undue credit. But when it comes to applying these laws to the ownership of NFTs, things get a bit vague. Why is this so? Well, for starters, it's very common for an NFT to be made from stolen art or have uncertain creative ownership. This has, in several instances, led to ugly lawsuits with no clear resolutions. So the fact that NFTs hardly fit into the conventional framework of the present copyright law makes it all the more challenging to ensure rightful ownership. Moving on. What does it mean to own the intellectual property of an NFT? Now, if you own an NFT, it doesn't give you the liberty to do whatever you want with it. In fact, it's actually the creator who decides what can or cannot be done.
NFTs pretty much dominate the headlines because of the crazy amounts we see people buy and sell.
But how will the new owner know what's expected of them? Well, for starters, this is the fault of some creators who are unable to take the necessary steps that allow the copyright laws to work effectively. It's important that NFT owners and creators familiarize themselves with what copyright laws mean for their tokens. When an NFT that's subjected to intellectual property laws is sold, then the transfer of ownership is automatically made by a blockchain smart contract, and along with it, all the rules and restrictions regarding that NFT are also transferred. So the new owner is pretty much immediately given the terms of purchase and resale opportunities, which outline what an owner can or can't do. In most cases, the owner is only allowed to use, copy, and display the NFT. If this doesn't make things clear, then here's an example. Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, decided to sell his tweet as an NFT to a buyer named Sina Estavi. Now, keep in mind that this was the first ever tweet made, so it sort of does have some significance, making it worthy of the $48 million paid for it. Anyway, since it was protected by IP laws, Estavi can't make money off of it by selling t-shirts or other merch. He can basically only say that he owns the first ever tweet made while the copyrights are still with Dorsey. Up next, here's more on IP licensing designations. So not all creators are bound to place copyrights on their work.
The first NFT that we're going to look at was sent by a creator who was concerned that
It's totally up to them, but there are different type of licensing designations they need to be familiar with. So let's talk about them. First up, personal license. So if a creator has no intellectual property license, it's usually assumed that they don't have intellectual property rights and that the NFT was only used for personal purposes. Now, if you buy an NFT artwork under a personal license, then you can only use them for non-commercial purposes. So you could only flex the fact that you own the NFT, put it up as your profile picture, or display the artwork at your home. Profit making according to this license is strictly prohibited. And of course, that makes sense. No artist would really want other people making millions by selling their artwork.
Now, if they were to do that, then 100% of the money, or all the money that they sold for the license.
And honestly, that's fair. Next up is commercial license. Now, with these licenses, creators are able to give some rights to the buyer, but in the end, they still own the NFT along with the IP. So the buyer might be able to sell the NFT on merch and even create a show with the artwork as a character. The best example of this would be Bored Ape and the restaurant project called Bored and Hungry. And interestingly, some time ago, Yuga Labs, the owner of Bored Ape, gave full commercial rights to NFT holders, so they can now use them in both personal and commercial projects. Moving on, here are alternative licensing structures. Now that NFTs have entered the mainstream market, there are a wide variety of licenses offered apart from the conventional ones, which allow artists to grant usage rights to their work according to their own. Non-profit organizations have a variety of licenses. For instance, Creative Commons is giving 6 different types of licensing structures. One type of of these licenses is the Attribution Non-Commercial 4.0 International, which lets you build upon the material and transform it. But of course, this can only be done if credit is given to the artist.
Let's talk about IP here. Intellectual property licensing in the realm of NFTs is a...
Some licenses, such as Can't Be Evil, are available to all so that artists can make sure that their work is properly projected and that they know their rights. One good thing about these licenses is that they result in functional NFTs, which result in long-term utility. A suitable IP designation allows for a promising future for the artist since no one can use their work without their consent. That's all we have for NFTs and the ownership of intellectual property. Now, let's see what's up with NFTs right now. At the moment, things don't really look NFT friendly. In fact, they're plunging right now, and from the looks of it, pretty much everyone is getting out of it right now. Over the last month, the market cap for NFTs has seen a drop of 40%.
I believe I'm going to jail for an NFT salesman. Yeah, that is.
Right now, it sits at a not-so-comfortable $2.3 billion. Of course, it's still bigger than the market cap of big-time companies such as JetBlue Airways, but compared to NFT's previous performance, it's a considerable fall. What's interesting, though, is that recent stats show that the sales volume of NFTs has increased by 25%. This could point towards the fact that more people are selling their NFTs, which of course led to a huge market decline. Bored Ape Yacht Club saw a devaluation, with its floor price since July dropping from $130,000 to less than $101,000. So with prices declining and an increase in sales volume, things are headed in a not-so-good direction for NFTs. What's more, why do we see such a decline? Now the technology might be through the roof for NFTs, but that doesn't really mean a lot right now, especially since the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates. This means people are more inclined towards getting their money out of risky stuff like stocks and NFTs and putting it into safe investments such as short-term bonds. And since the government plans on increasing interest rates till the end of this year, we suggest that you wouldn't buy any NFTs at least for now. So when will it be safe to invest in NFTs? It's best if you wait for the inflation to come down. And well, if you see interest rates coming down and want to invest in NFTs, then we suggest that you go for the ones whose floor price fell more than 65%. And besides, right now, investment is moving towards crypto.
There's no logical way that the market caps of these coins do not go up with so much money trying to get in. So let's start off with the obvious.
The world's biggest investment management company, BlackRock, recently partnered with Coinbase to make cryptocurrencies more accessible to their customers. Lastly, what can we expect now? With investment companies moving towards crypto and an increasing interest rate, the environment isn't in the favor of NFTs. But you can be assured that we'll see a rise in investments related to crypto and NFTs. And well,
Bitcoin's price actually went up, which makes perfect sense. But there's also still a huge risk for Bitcoin.
This interest of BlackRock in cryptocurrency and everything related to it shows that the future market shows a promising trend for these assets. Of course, they won't invest in it just because it looks good. These companies get hundreds of analysts to make predictions for them. So things might not seem promising for NFTs right now, but there's a huge chance that things will improve. But of course, you'll still have to wait for inflation to go down first. That's a wrap for this video, folks. What's your take on the plunging NFT market right now? Will you be investing in it anytime soon? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. See you in the next one with the latest updates.